Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League, showcasing some more fun battles featuring Altaria! In light of the World Championship Celebration event, all of the spawns that are out right now, there are some really good spawns, and we've gotten caught up in Sableye and Medicham, and we forget that Swablu is also spawning in the wild, so I'm sure a lot of you have had the opportunity to get a good Swablu for Altaria in case you missed the community day. So Altaria will be the lead on this team, and also in the wild right now, we've got Croagunk, which evolves into Toxicroak. So Toxicroak will also be on this team to protect Altaria from primarily the steel types, and also it does have some solid play up against the fairies. So Toxicroak will be on the team along with Registeel. Registeel's gonna be protecting Altaria as well from those very powerful charmers. And of course, with Focus Blast, it has some very, very solid play up against the steel types. Registeel always proves to be a solid backbone to any team. But before we dive into the featured set of the video, we are starting things off with some bonus battles that I thought were tons of fun. And here we go. Awful lead. For the steel type leads, we go in the Toxicroak. This team has sort of a dual safe swap dynamic. So for steel type leads, we go into Toxicroak because they often compared with anti-fighters like Trevenant or Sableye. And Toxicroak can really pressure shields on Pokemon like Trevenant and Sableye. So we go into Toxicroak, and here we are. Speaking of Trevenant, we've got a Trevenant right here in front of us. We grab the first shield with the threat of the Sludge Bomb. And right here, should have probably baited because they are shielding, which means that they're fighting hard for switch advantage. And I don't blame them, knowing that we have an Altaria and they have a Registeel. So we don't want to go completely down on shields, so we let the Toxicroak go down. And what we are now going to do is look to farm this Trevenant all the way down. Altaria is quite bulky and absolutely tanks a Shadow Ball, no problem. And we will get the full farm down. We are now loaded on energy, fully expecting that Registeel. But Toxicroak did the job and was able to grab a shield advantage for us, which could prove to be quite beneficial here. We will shield this up. It is a Zap Cannon bait. So we are now debuffed, and that is okay. Gonna go for the Focus Blast. Although debuffed, it's still gonna do quite a bit of damage to the opposing Registeel. And this Registeel will get to a Focus Blast of their own, but Registeel is quite bulky, and we tank that, no problem. They cannot farm us down. They make an aggressive play into a Drapion. Never a good idea to come in on a loaded Registeel because it can hit hard with Zap Cannon, and that does a lot of damage. And they are over farming, so we tried to combo play here, but they happened to throw just as we were looking to execute the combo play, but luckily it was an Aqua Tail. I think that they were trying to farm up, load up, get rid of the Registeel, and have a move ready for our Altaria, but it did not work out as Altaria closes the game in dominant fashion, taking out the Drapion and farming down the steel type. You don't get much better than that. That's going to be a good game. Well played. I'm telling you guys, Altaria with the right team behind it can be extremely powerful in the Great League. And here we go. We've got a Cofagrigus lead. Pretty neutral lead. I know that we win this in the one shield, so we're going to stay right here. We don't want this thing anywhere near our Toxicroak, so we don't want to risk it finding its way to it. So we'll stay right here and play out the one shield, and we will, I believe, we go shield for shield here. They're going to go Shadow Ball, and we will shield this. We basically want to chunk some health on Cofagrigus, as it is quite bulky, but they catch the next Sky Attack onto an Azumarill. That's a nice catch, but this chip damage will really come in handy because this Azumarill will take a lot of damage from our Zap Cannon, and it won't KO, which will actually work out for us as Azumarill is quite bulky, as one Zap Cannon does not KO even from this health range. but the amount of health that it leaves with the Zap Cannon will give us just the right amount of farm to threaten whatever comes back in. So this Azumarill is not running Hydro Pump. Guys, if you're going to play Azumarill, I think in this current meta, I think Hydro Pump is an absolute must-have for these very strong steel types like Registeel. We farm it down. We've got loaded energy for whatever comes back in. That plan worked out beautifully, but this Cofagrigus has a move. Shadow Ball hits pretty hard, but we live long enough to get off that big Zap Cannon that we were able to farm up from that Azumarill as we say bye-bye to the coffin, and they've got a Talonflame in the back, and we've got just the answer for it, but Talonflame can go for the Brave Bird. I'm thinking there's no way they go for it. We have a shield, and they go for it and one-shot our Altaria. That got us completely flustered. We go into the wrong Pokemon, just giving them additional farm. Oh, I could not believe I did that. That is okay. I'm thinking here, there's no way they debuff themselves again. And luckily, we made the right call this time around. And Toxicroak is able to farm down after tanking a Flame Charge from the hard-hitting Talonflame. Toxicroak coming in super clutch. That's going to be a good game. Well played. How about Toxicroak coming in clutch in that previous battle? And here we go, the Nightmare lead. So Fairy leads with this team. We go into Registeel. So Steel leads, you go into Toxicroak. Fairy leads, you go into Registeel. For reasons like this, they usually come paired with Pokemon like Sableye. And you want to draw that out so that Toxicroak can have a good end game here. We do shield up the first foul play from Sableye because we want to apply the Zap Cannon debuff, especially on a Pokemon like Sableye that can output a lot of damage. And they actually tanked the Zap Cannon. I was not expecting that, but I think that they're banking on their ghost typing not getting farmed down by our lock-ons, so that's okay. I suspected that they would shield the second one, so we go Zap Cannon again to further debuff the Sableye. We are now even on shields, and I'm thinking we can farm down with 2 debuffs to the attack. 1 foul play does not KO. Registeel's about as bulky as it gets, and we farm down with resisted lock-ons. And they come back in with the Alola Ninetales, but it's running Powder Snow. Very interesting. So we do get to a move. Gonna go for the Focus Blast. I wasn't sure if we'd make it to a Zap Cannon, and they do farm down. So now we can come in with our Toxicroak. This Alola Ninetales does have some loaded energy. It can run Psyshock. We don't want to risk getting one-shot by a Psyshock, so we shield out of caution. It was just a Weather Ball. And this is just another Weather Ball here. So we definitely tank one, no problem. And we're going to look to farm down. But they've got an Azumarill in the back. I was fully expecting the Technical line with Swampert. And this is a bit of a curveball, guys. So what we need to do here is I noticed that we lagged. So we go into Altaria. The reason why we did this is because as of late, I have had so many occasions where you go down, it lags just as you're going to get to your charge move. It doesn't allow you to hit your charge move. So rather than risk that in this very close game, we swap into Altaria. And guys, as long as Azumarill is not running Ice Beam, Altaria can actually put up a fight against Azumarill of all Pokemon, which is insane. They get to a second play rough, but we banked that Sludge Bomb and Altaria put in the work, getting Azumarill within Sludge Bomb range. So we're saying bye-bye to the very tanky Azumarill. Toxicroak coming in clutch yet again, taking out the Azumarill. You love to see it. You don't get much better than that. So very solid team so far in these bonus battles. I did not create this team, but I have run into it quite a bit, so I wanted to showcase it for you guys, and so far it is quite powerful, but we've got the featured set coming right up. Very powerful Altaria team as we move into the featured set of the video. We've got a rough lead here in Azumarill, but as we saw in that last battle, Altaria can absolutely put up a fight against it. So what I like to do on Azu leads is I like to chip with a Sky Attack. And like I said in the previous battle, we go into Toxicroak on fairies, but on Azumarill, I like to chip first because it is quite bulky and can be quite the handful. And they are at Hydro Pump Energy. That would do an insane amount of damage, but they bait us with an Ice Beam as they make a play into a Cofagrigus. Oh, it's looking like the hard counter phenomenon is striking yet again, rearing its ugly head. This is awful. Very awful. Cofagrigus is a very, very bad matchup for Toxicroak. We're going to let this go, cut our losses, and come back in with Altaria and try our very best to load up on energy. We know that we definitely tank a Shadow Ball, and we don't mind tanking the big damage because we know that there is an Azumarill left on the team, but it would be nice to grab a shield advantage, or not a shield advantage, excuse me, even up the shielding scenario here. But I don't imagine they shield here. They're going to come back in with that Azu. So we are going to bank a move, go into Registeel, and they've got a Trevenant, and this is over. That is impossible. That is an impossible team to beat. There is no shot there. Unfortunate team comp, but good game. Well played nonetheless. Oh, we got hit with a Mon-for-Mon hard counter in that last one, but let's see if we can recover as we met with a very positive lead. Shadow Vic, they make a play into the Medicham, and it's Shadow Vic leads 9 times out of 10 will compared with definitely a Bastiodon and either a Medicham or a Deoxys, and we are met with the Medicham here. Not a good idea to safe swap your Medi onto Altaria. And we know that we win this in all shielding scenarios, so we will play out whatever shield scenario they want to play. They've already shielded one Sky Attack. We tanked the first move. They tried to bait us with a Power Punch, and we shield up the boosted Psychic. Making all the right calls here, and they will look to, they are fighting hard, and they kind of have to. But the beauty of this Altaria team is it absolutely core breaks the very annoying Shadow Victory Bell ABA team with Medicham and Bastiodon. It is a thing of beauty because that team can be quite annoying, and we say bye-bye to the Medicham there as we farm it down. So fully expecting that Basti. They showed Basti. We go into Toxicroak to draw back out that Shadow Vic. And we had the energy lead. We get to the Sludge Bomb. This is so satisfying. Bye-bye to the very annoying Shadow Vic. Oh, it's not often you get the one-shot of Shadow Victory Bell, and Toxicroak is about to go off on the remainder of this team. Holy smokes, Toxicroak going on an absolute rampage. We take out the Basti as well. My goodness! How about Toxicroak? Registeel didn't even see the field, my friends. Altaria and Toxicroak going 2v3 against a very annoying team. That's going to be a good game. Well played. Oh, it's so satisfying taking out that Shadow Vic team. You love to see it. And here we go. We've got a Jellicent lead. Very tricky lead. You never know if Jellicent could be running Ice Beam, which of course, with our Dragon Flying typing would do a metric ton of damage. So we look to catch. A lot of Jellicent leads do run Ice Beam, but they go Shadow Ball. So that is good to know. That means that they're not running Ice Beam. They would have definitely gone for it against Altaria. But we are now met with a Scrafty, so gonna let the Power Up Punch go through, and we go for the Zap Cannon here because a lot of trainers like to shield up their Scrafty, so we tried to go for that, but they let it go. We could have possibly flipped switch if we had just gone for the Focus Blast, but that is okay. They do counter us down, and they are debuffed. Or they're back to normal now because they did boost with a Power Punch. So they're back to normal. We tank a normal foul play, no problem. Long enough to farm down, really load up on energy. Fully expecting that Jellicent to come back in. And we've got nearly back-to-back Sky Attacks to really put the pressure on this Jellicent here. We grab a shield. We now have a shield advantage. And gonna look to go for Sky Attack number 2. We know that they're not running Ice Beam. If they go for a Shadow Ball, so be it. Toxicroak with a shield advantage is absolutely lethal, and we are going to play with that in mind. We're going to call this. If they go Shadow Ball, so be it. But they don't. They tried baiting us, and we are now debuffed. They've got a Nidoqueen in the back, so we're just going to look to get off this chip damage. put it within Mud Bomb range, but they shield, and that is fine as well, guys. We have a 2 shield advantage. And like I said, Toxicroak with any sort of shield advantage is absolutely lethal. Going to shield up the potential earth power. They are going for the jugular here. So what we're going to look to do is CMP tie them to a potential Poison Fang. We don't want any debuffs on our Toxicroak. We're saying bye-bye to the Nidoqueen, and the Jellicent is just about done. Toxicroak coming in clutch yet again. Sweeping yet another endgame. My goodness, that's going to be a good game. Well played. Oh, I'm telling you guys, Toxicroak can absolutely go on a tear and sweep an endgame like you wouldn't believe. But here we go. Venusaur Lead, they make a play in Registeel, and we are going into Toxicroak. Very solid answer to Registeel, as we do have access to Mud Bomb, which does hit for super effective damage, and Toxicroak hits like a truck. And we decide to shield out the potential Zap Cannon, knowing that Toxicroak can do a lot as long as you preserve some health on it. It wouldn't have one-shot, but we wanted to get a healthy farm to put the pressure on whatever they come back in with. Venusaur often comes paired with 2 steel types, and they do come back in with the Venusaur, and we've got loaded energy. Gonna go for the Sludge Bomb on the CMP tie and see what they want to do. This would do a lot of damage to a Shadow Venusaur, and they do shield. And it is a Shadow. Speaking of, I wasn't sure if we tank a Shadow Frenzy Plant. We are quite squishy, but we tank it long enough to get to another Sludge Bomb. I'm telling you guys, Toxicroak can absolutely go on a tear, and they let that go. That is amazing. Gonna come in with Registeel to farm down. Reading that there was a second steel type in the back or a Sableye. You could see either variation. This is the double steel line. We go for the Focus Blast, and they tank that. That is amazing. Guys, one thing you got to realize about Altaria is Dragon Breath with Stab is absolutely OP, and the Stunfisk is basically within farm down range. So we're going to tank that, go into our Altaria. We got some lag there, so they were able to get ahead on energy. They should not have reached a Rock Slide this fast, but that is okay. And we're going to look to farm down the bulky Steel type Stunfisk. Altaria, OP, and we're farming down the Venusaur. Oh, I'm telling you guys, Altaria can be quite powerful in the Great League, and it shows in that last battle. Good game, well played. I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for a solid team for Altaria, this one might just be for you, as we are picking up a positive lead in Swampert. They make a play into Alola Ninetales. Took a little bit of a long time to react, but we are in it with our Registeel here. There is no better answer to these Charmers than Registeel, and we are just going to look to play this out. Shields are still up. Going to go for the Zap Cannon here and debuff that attack. Take a little bit of the sting off of these Charms, and they do let that go. If they let it go, it gets a little awkward because you can't farm it down from this health range. You're going to have to throw a move. So that can make it a little awkward, but not a big deal. As long as we can get rid of this Charmer, that is what matters most. We will no bubble this, hoping that they survive it. But Registeel, too OP, it still KOs. That is okay. They do come back in with the Swampert. We're going to try our best to get off a Focus Blast, but they are not letting that happen. And we are not willing to give them a shield advantage, so we're going to let it go, come back in with our Altaria. And they've got an Azumarill in the back, so this is getting super tricky here. We're going to look to chip with a Sky Attack. That'll make this matchup a little bit more manageable for our Toxicroak. And, of course, we do have Sludge Bomb to really threaten this Azumarill. We have to shield up everything from the Azumarill because we are not known for our bulk, and fully expecting them to shield here because they don't want that Swampert anywhere near our Altaria. So we take advantage of that. We bait with a Mud Bomb successfully. And now at this point, we can just go straight Mud Bomb. This Azumarill's getting quite low. And like I said, Toxicroak hits like a truck, and they double shield their Azu. And they do get to a move. So at this point, we're going to let this go and put all the hope and faith into Altaria, preserve a shield, and they take full advantage of the misaligned switch timers. We're not able to get to the Mud Bomb in time. Oh, it's getting quite sweaty here, guys. We are up a shield, so the play here, we've got one shot here, guys. The play is to farm this Swampert all the way down and leave this matchup with back-to-back Sky Attacks. That is our only shot to pull this off. We know that the Azumarill is energy dry, so we are playing with that in mind. We do have to shield up this next Hydro Cannon. Swampert is insanely spammy and can be quite annoying at times for that reason, but we get the full farm down and we've got the back-to-back Sky Attacks. We go for Sky Attack number 1. We knew that we needed back-to-back. 1 will not cut it, and we go for Sky Attack number 2. My goodness, Altaria coming in clutch yet again, taking out an Azumarill of all Pokemon. You don't get much better than that, my friends. And that is the team. How about it? What better way to finish off the video than having Altaria take out an Azumarill? I'm telling you, you don't get much better than that. And that is not something that you see every day. So very solid team here. Like I said, I did not create this team, but it is a team that I have ran into a few times. And I thought, you know, Swablu's out in the wild now with this World Championship celebration event, along with Croagunk. So I wanted to showcase both of those, just in case you guys happen to get a good Swablu for Altaria or a good Croagunk for Toxicroak. I wanted to showcase a solid team with both of those options, and I think that we were able to do that, guys. Very powerful Altaria team. The team works beautifully. All the moving parts complement each other extremely well. So guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.